Hello, hello, hello. Chances are, if you clicked on my video, you are at least considering moving to China. You might have some questions about what it's like, all that kind of stuff. So, I've compiled a list of some pros and cons that might help you. Hopefully, anyway. Otherwise, this is just me rambling for 20 minutes. We'll see. So, I've got my list here of cons and pros. So let's go over the cons first, shall we? Get that stuff out of the way. First one, it's pretty common knowledge, but it's true. China's pretty polluted. That's just how it is. There's a buttload of people here, and it's just a consequence of that. I can guarantee you if there was this many people in Australia, we would have the same problem. So it can be a bit of an eyesore, and depending on where you are, it might cause some health issues. Beijing, for example, I totally lost my voice. I wasn't sick or anything like that. My throat just dried up, and I couldn't talk properly. And this might be a bit of TMI, but yeah, when you blow your nose and stuff like that, your boogers will be black. It's gross. But the city that I'm in, Suzhou, is a lot better, so thank goodness I'm here. Okay, number two is anything that you do, really, is just going to be that much harder, okay? It's just what you get from living in a country whose primary language is not English. So, opening a bank account, grocery shopping, trying to get onto a phone plan, everything is just going to be just have this extra fucking layer of difficulty to it. Again, that's just how it is. You're going to have to work through it, ask for some help, get really good at charades, I don't know, find a way around it. Number three is, this is really the only thing that gives me any real fear of danger, and that's the traffic, man. Cars are fairly predictable, but the scooters around here are rogue. They can go anywhere pretty much, and they're electric, so they are silent as ghosts, and they are out to kill you. So for the love of God, just keep your eyes open, watch out for the scooters, and just, yeah, be careful around the traffic. Especially because footpath around here is it's a pretty vague concept, because footpaths are really, in practice, more like the extension of whatever shop is taking up that space. It will spill out onto the footpath, and as a consequence, all the pedestrians are walking on the actual road. And this is where all the scooters are. So, watch out for them. Con number 4. This one's more of a personal bugbear of mine that drives me nuts. But there is always someone in your way. Always someone in your way. So, for example, when I'm at home and there's that cute little family in the shopping center that's taking up a whole aisle, I'm always there just stressing out, being like, oh my God, get out of my way. And it's just like that, but times 1,000. Even if you're off the main streets and you're somewhere that's comparatively less populated, there's still someone that's on a trajectory to intercept, and you're like, why does this need to happen? There was a whole street, and we somehow were magnetically attracted to each other. Ugh. And I understand, it's literally a two-way street. I also got in their way as well somehow, but it's still mind-blowing to me. There's always someone in your way. Drives me nuts. Next con. Oh yeah, of course. This is actually the big one. I should have put this as number 1. But con number 1 for me is it's just there's no one around. Well, I mean, of course there is. There's a shitload of people around. It's China. But being a foreigner, there's no one around that I can really communicate with. And this might depend on where you are, of course. Cities like Beijing or Shanghai and stuff like that, they will probably have more of a scene where you can go out and you can meet people. Whereas Suzhou is a little bit off people's radar. Not many people come here. So there's no, like, strip of bars that I can just go to and strike up a conversation with a stranger, have a couple of beers, and then boom, make myself a friend. That doesn't really happen in this area. So if you're in a situation like me, then you can start to feel cut off from people. And I do work with people. I get along with my Chinese colleagues, but again, we don't share the same language, so communication for any long period of time can be a bit of a mental strain for both parties. So, yeah, that is my cons list. On to the pros, shall we? First pro is the food. There is so much food. China just knows what it's doing with food. There is a spectrum of things out there for you to eat. So if you like just trying new stuff, then this is your country, baby. You're gonna love it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get fat in China. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get fat because, for example, today I went out and I had a lunch. It was awesome. I was very satisfied. But then I also decided to go on a long walk and explore some of the streets around here that I haven't been down. And I'm passing all of these food vendors. And of course, I'm like, yeah, damn, that looks good. I'm going to try that. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to try that. Fuck yeah, I want to eat that. And I didn't need it. I wasn't hungry. But I just want to try all the stuff. For example, I finished this not 5 minutes ago. This was an impulse buy. It's like this corn soup kind of rice concoction, but it's not soup. It's a little bit sweet. It's not even soup really, it's more like a porridge, but you drink it and it's so weird, and I was like, yeah, I have to try that to see what that's like. Not even hungry, but just drank some corn porridge for the fun of it. So yeah, long story short, China's got a lot of food and it's a lot of fun, so that is super awesome. Pro number 2 that I think is really cool is the attention that you get from being a foreigner. You don't have to do much to impress anyone around here. You're a walking novelty. They love it. And you'll get a lot of people just staring at you with this astonished expression on their face. Or people will want to take photos of you. Or probably the most common one, which is really funny, is people yelling hello at you. Because hello for some people might be the only word of English that they know. And they just think it's the funniest thing to say hello to you. Like, they will crack up laughing and you'll just be like, hello, and then just like walk off all awkward. And they're just having a jolly old time because they think they're super clever for saying hello. It's hilarious. And children especially will love you as well. They will stare at you and say hello, and if you take the time to say hello to them, they'll get all shy and lose their minds, and it's really cute. So yeah, I love the celebrity status. It's kind of awesome. Pro. Here's another one. Cost of living. It's pretty good here. It's pretty good. Ordered 3 dishes the other day, and it was for 15 yuan, which is like $3 Australian. That's so good. I didn't even need the 3 different dishes. I was just feeling extravagant, and it's $3. Like, it's so awesome. So the cost of living is really good, and that's especially the case for me because the company that I work for has provided me with free accommodation. So I have an apartment. I don't need to pay rent or anything like that. So pretty much the only expense that I incur is buying food. So yeah, I'm spending beans on a monthly basis, and everything else that I earn I can pretty much keep. It's really great. It's a great way to save money. So cost of living is pretty low. Although I will provide an amendment to that and say if you're hankering for Western food, it's radically different. For example, there's a Pizza Hut down the road, and pizza is like $20 or $30 for a Pizza Hut pizza. And it's just so expensive. And at home, pizza is like this casual food. We're like, yeah, pizza, whatever. We order it and eat it in our pajamas. And then here, though, because it is so expensive, people get dressed up to the nines and go to this Pizza Hut place. And the Pizza Hut looks so different to what we have as well. It is like a fancy restaurant. So yeah, so long as you stick to the local incarnations of food, it'll be really cheap. But if you want Western food, it's an entirely different story. That's not something that you can just go out and buy on a whim. So yeah, generally cost of living is pretty good. Not con, sorry, pro is the people are really friendly. I'd kind of gotten this impression of China that it was going to be a bit insulated and closed off, and therefore the people itself would be closed off. But my experience so far has been that they're super friendly and really just considerate of my situation and helpful. And considering I don't really speak a word of the local language, though I do a little bit, but it revolves entirely around ordering food and asking how much something is. For example, I got lost the other day. I was on my way to this international hospital, and I got dropped off in a scooter, and I looked around and I was like, shit, where the fuck am I? This is not where I'm supposed to be. What do I do? So I waddled into this hotel, and I did the charades, got the point across that I was lost, and they bent over backwards trying to help me. They searched for the hospital that I was looking for, figured out that it was a long way away, called a taxi for me, bundled me in there, and off I went. And I couldn't help but think, if there was a person who couldn't speak a word of English in an identical situation in Australia, would the process have gone as smoothly for them? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Australians have given the world the impression that we're really happy-go-lucky and super friendly. But I think if someone was in a similar situation in Australia, we'd just be like, oh, this is a huge hassle. It's a big pain in my life right now. And yeah. So anyway, I was really, really just super impressed and blown away by how just really cool everyone's been. And yeah, just being cool about the fact that I can't speak the language. They don't seem to hold that against me. It's awesome. It's really cool. So friendly people. Okay, another pro is that it's really safe around here. You get that feeling of safety. Nothing feels menacing or threatening. China's got a pretty low rate of street crime. So there's also another concept about the place called face, and it's akin to pride. And no one wants to lose face. No one wants to be that guy that flips out and punches someone or something like that. So they've got that kind of a culture over here as well. And as a result, the streets are pretty safe. You can walk around at night, and it just, you know, it's safe. It's good. It's classy. It's a nice touch, China. Thank you. What else? Let me have a look at my little list again. Okay, yeah. This is the last one, I guess, that I could think of. But it's the biggest one as well. The major pro is that you are living in China. You're living in this whole different country. And if you're coming from a place such as myself, like Australia or the UK or America or something like that, then this is just a really different experience. It's really awesome to just see how different parts of the world live. So make the most of that, and you've got this chance to learn Mandarin, like the most commonly spoken language in the world. It's just such an awesome opportunity, and all these new experiences and new things are coming at you, so just slow down, try to take it all in, live in the merriment, man, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's my cons and my pros. I haven't lived here too long, really. I'll let you know right away. I've only been in Suzhou for maybe like 5 or 6 weeks, I can't remember now. So I haven't been here for terribly long. So that's my first impressions, cons and pros. But let's say that you're sold on the idea and you're like, yeah, that sounds dope. I want to go live in China. I do have some advice for you. So my first advice would be getting yourself an application of some sort where you can convert English into Chinese. There's a website that I use at the moment called fanyibaidu.com. The spelling for that is F for Foxtrot, FANY.BAIDU.com. And yeah, it's just really helpful. If you're in a situation where you need to communicate something and charades just isn't cutting it, type whatever you need in there, convert it, and then show that to someone, print it out, take a photo of it, take it wherever you need it, and yeah, it'll save your life, probably. There's probably apps as well that you can download and get on your device, whatever. Get a hold of one of those, it'll be really useful. The next bit of advice is a bit more niche, but it's affected my life, so I'm going to touch on it here. Now, I don't eat a lot of meat at the moment. It's something that I rarely purchase. I don't purchase it very often, so I keep it to a minimum, and it's been really difficult to avoid in China. Again, just it's a byproduct of not being able to speak the language. So I've ordered things that I thought were vegetable, and it just totally hasn't been. Like, I ordered a big bowl of green beans the other day, and it had little bits of pork all through it, things I couldn't see, and they just snuck meat into this vegetable dish. Or, because I can't read menus, I rely on things that are visual. So if the food's in front of me, I can point at it, or if there's photographs, I use that to order, and I point at stuff. And I got this bok choy clear soup with a boiled egg, or I tried to order that, and then it came out and it was like chopped up chicken with bok choy and the gravy and rice, and I was like, this is totally not what I ordered. But for me, that's not a huge problem because I'm pretty flexible. If I accidentally get it in my food, I will eat it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. I'm not super strict in that department. But for some people who are more adherent to their principles, then it's going to be a problem. What I would recommend is familiarizing yourself with any special phrases that you will need to get across your desired requirements. So look those up, wrap your head around those before you come, because otherwise you're in a lot of trouble. China is very fond of meat. They put it in a lot of things. Things that you think are safe are probably not. So figure out those phrases. The next thing is China has restricted internet. They've got the Great Firewall of China. And as a consequence, that means that Facebook is inaccessible. Anything associated with Google is inaccessible. So Google, Gmail, YouTube, you can't generally access these sites. And for someone who comes from countries like I do, that means that you are basically cut off from the world that you know. And yeah, I don't know if any of you have used Bing recently, but it's not good. Going from being a Google user and then reverting to Bing is just not good. So what you're going to want to do, especially before you come here, is install a virtual private network. That's a VPN. And it will bypass the firewall and connect you to a server in a different country. So basically my laptop thinks it's in South Korea right now, which is why I can talk to you. It's super easy. I use one called Viper, V-Y-P-E-R, Viper VPN. I'll put a link in the description so you can have a look at it. There's also ExpressVPN, that one's pretty common, but whatever, just go find one, get it installed, and then, yeah, whenever you want to access the internet, you just open up that application, hit connect, and then it will, yeah, basically connect you to a different server, and you can use the internet pretty fine. It's not super awesome. It's slowed down a little bit, but what are you going to do? At least I can still talk to my friends and family. So get a VPN. The other thing is, don't be too proud to use any support that might be available to you. There is no doubt that there are some things over here that are quite difficult. So if you have friends or family who have been here before, if you know someone who lives here, just don't be shy. Ask for help. I have, like I said, I have a company that I work with, and they offer a lot of support to me. They have made this experience so much more smooth, and this transition for me has been something that could have been quite overwhelming and very difficult, and they've converted it into being the polar opposite and made it very easy. So yeah, use your support. Just do it. And you know, like in the future, when someone needs help from you, just spread the love. You know, help them. Keep the circle of goodness going. Last bit of advice would be, and now this might be a little bit condescending. Live your life. Do whatever you want to do. But this is just what I think. It relates back to the final con that I mentioned, the feeling of isolation that you might feel. If you're in a similar circumstance to me and you don't have immediate access to other people who you can talk to freely, then there is a temptation to become glued to social media. I would say try to resist that. Try to resist that. Don't have your phone in front of your face all the time and miss out on what's going on. So for example, when I leave my apartment, that's when I have my eyes open. I don't use my phone at all. I focus on what I'm eating, I focus on where I'm walking, I focus on what I'm doing. Because if I have my phone in front of me all the time, then why am I here? What am I doing? I could be doing this at home. So yeah, just try to remain connected to what's going on around you. Don't miss it by being logged on all the time. However, having said that, it's a completely different story when I'm at home. No matter what I'm doing, I have my laptop open, I have Facebook open, and if I hear that little blink and someone sent me a message, then I'm on the laptop being like, oh my god, someone's talking to me, and you will get a reply from me, like lightning, because that's pretty much my only kind of conversation that I have at the moment is with people through Facebook. So yeah, I'm all about it. But at home. I keep it at home. So yeah, that's my pros and my cons and some advice that I thought I would share. And yeah, if you're moving to China, hit me up in the comments. What are you planning to do? Do you already live in China? And if you're in Suzhou, hit me up and we'll have a beer sometime. I'm totally not even kidding. Hit me up and let's have a beer. I totally miss being able to have a casual drink. I really, really do enjoy it, but I can't be bothered drinking by myself. I don't like to have a drink. To me, it's something that must be paired with actual company, and I've had very few chances to have a relax and have a drink. So if you're around the area, hit me up. Let's go have a beer and a chat. That would be amazing. Alright guys, that's everything. Like I said, if you're here or if you're planning to come here, let me know in the comments, and I will see you around.